So hey homies, the Soul Hall thought no one could touch them until Xiao Yan and Yao Lao stepped in as saints. In this video, we're breaking down how one raid on the Mortal Hall shakes the entire Central Plains. The war that would shake the Central Plains was finally approaching, and at its blazing center stood Xiao Yan, newly advanced to the 2-star saint realm. With his teacher, Yao Lao, restored to saint strength, the long-awaited moment of retaliation against the Soul Hall had arrived at last decisively today. Yet even with overwhelming momentum, Xiao Yan understood that striking the Soul Hall's main headquarters too early would be reckless. Instead, he chose a calculated opening, targeting the lesser but strategically crucial Mortal Hall branch controlled by the First and Second Tianzuns of the enemy faction, directly first, boldly now. This decision was not merely tactical, it was necessary. During Xiao Yan's absence, while he battled the 3 Dragon Kings and aided the 9 Serene Python tribe, the Soul Hall had grown terrifyingly arrogant, launching relentless raids across the Heavenly Court Alliance territories, causing devastating losses everywhere daily, sadly indeed. Entire regions were thrown into panic, Alliance members vanished, overnight cities burned, and smaller sects abandoned resistance, unable to withstand the ruthless harvest of souls carried out by Soul Hall agents. The growing terror even discouraged neutral forces from joining the Alliance, weakening its unity significantly during those dangerous months. And within the Alliance headquarters, a tense council gathered. Yao Lao, the Blazing Flame Valley ancestor, and the respected Pill Tower elder debated furiously over how to answer the escalating aggression. Though anger filled the hall, no clear strategy had yet emerged to counter the threat decisively that day, however, still. Breaking the silence, Yao Lao proposed launching an immediate counteroffensive, arguing that continued hesitation would only embolden their enemies. Xiao Yan immediately supported his teacher, declaring that the time for passive defense had ended, and preparations for a decisive strike must begin without delay whatsoever, starting now, firmly together, hence. But why had the Soul Hall suddenly intensified its movements? Intelligence soon revealed a disturbing answer. Massive groups of experts were roaming the lands, capturing wandering souls, refining them into condensed essences, and transporting everything to hidden branch facilities under strict supervision for an unknown grand objective, forming rapidly ahead. The first Pill Tower elder reported with visible anxiety that alchemists across the Central Plains were disappearing at an alarming pace. Since the refined souls of alchemists possessed extraordinary value, the pattern unmistakably pointed toward a massive organized operation directed by the Soul Hall leadership itself, secretly orchestrated behind shadows. Off-captured souls were not simply stored, they were poured into enormous refining pools, where branch masters cultivated sinister techniques, strengthening themselves while accelerating a mysterious long-term plan. Whispers suggested that Emperor Hun Tiandi required unimaginable quantities of spiritual energy, pushing his followers to harvest relentlessly without mercy or hesitation. Such open soul gathering could not remain hidden for long. Major factions throughout the Central Plains quickly realized that the Soul Hall was preparing something unprecedented. If allowed to continue unchecked, the consequences might reshape the entire power balance of the continent, threatening every independent force existing at present today. Among all regional powers, only the Heavenly Court Alliance possessed the strength to confront such ambitions. Smaller sects understood that isolation meant destruction, and therefore began quietly watching Xiao Yan's movements, hoping his return would ignite resistance strong enough to challenge the terrifying dominion of the Soul Hall leadership again. When Xiao Yan finally advanced toward the Mortal Hall, accompanied by Yao Lao and elite Alliance warriors, the confrontation unfolded with overwhelming speed. Most defenders were merely Dosun experts, powerful by ordinary standards, yet insignificant before 2 genuine saints whose combined might crushed resistance like falling mountains within moments. During the chaotic assault, Xiao Yan suddenly noticed an old enemy, Mugu, the sinister elder responsible for numerous tragedies, including Yao Lao's near-fatal past persecution. Rage flashed within Xiao Yan's eyes as he realized fate had delivered perfect retribution directly into his grasp, this time decisively without mercy remaining. Mugu attempted escape, but against Saint Power resistance proved meaningless. Xiao Yan annihilated him instantly, seizing the Sea Heart Flame that once belonged to the traitor, strengthening his already terrifying arsenal. The symbolic execution also sent a chilling message across the battlefield: no betrayal would ever remain unpunished again. Now, the true clash began when the first Tianzun descended his aura, radiating oppressive, mid-2-star saint strength. Although Xiao Yan remained at the initial level, his mastery of Heavenly Flame and combat experience granted him fearless confidence, while Yao Lao simultaneously engaged the half-sane Gu Yu nearby fiercely then. Moreover, their side possessed an overwhelming hidden advantage. Xiao Yan, a formidable 4-star saint, stood ready, ensuring that unless the Hall Master Hun Mishan personally intervened, the Soul Hall branch faced inevitable collapse. Rumors even hinted his possible appearance, intensifying anticipation surrounding the escalating battle, unfolding rapidly before everyone present. As multiple battles erupted, Xiao Yan calmly surveyed the battlefield, entrusting Xiao Yi, Xian Qinglin, and other companions with confronting remaining Tianzun defenders. Their unique abilities, especially Qinglin's mysterious pupils, ensured that numerical superiority alone would never guarantee victory for the Soul Hall forces opposing them today decisively. Enraged, the First Tianzun unleashed forbidden techniques, summoning storms of bone blades that slashed through space towards Xiao Yan, yet blazing torrents of heavenly flame erupted instantly from Xiao Yan's body, melting every fragment before contact, proving once again the terrifying supremacy of flame over death, energy constructs entirely effortlessly. By realizing ordinary attacks were useless, the First Tianzun formed intricate seals, conjuring the sinister, heaven-piercing bone emperor sword imbued with devouring spiritual power capable of assaulting the mind directly. Xiao Yan sensed the danger, yet merely smiled, confident that spiritual confrontations were realms where he feared no opponent whatsoever still. As colossal energies gathered and the battlefield trembled, their impending collision promised devastation visible across the entire region, signaling that the war between Xiao Yan and the Soul Hall had truly begun, and the next moments would determine whose legend would dominate history, moving forward from this fateful encounter onward. Above the shattered battlefield, the First Tianzun tightened his grip upon the bone sword, refusing to retreat despite the earlier stalemate. A dark mist surged around him, forming thousands of wailing spirits, whose cries twisted the surrounding air into a suffocating vortex of despair and relentless hatred rising endlessly forward now. Xiao Yan, however, remained perfectly calm. His expression carried neither arrogance nor haste, only the focused determination of someone who had survived countless life and death struggles before. Flames gathered silently around his palms, illuminating the sky with burning gold radiance, expanding outward slowly yet irresistibly onward, today, again fiercely. The watching Alliance warriors felt their confidence surge, witnessing such unwavering composure. And even distant observers sensed that the momentum of battle was gradually shifting away from the Soul Hall defenders, whose morale faltered beneath the suffocating pressure of saint-level confrontation unfolding before them without pause or mercy whatsoever, now. Snarling in frustration, the First Tianzun infused the bone sword with additional sacrificial souls, causing crimson veins to spread across its surface like living lightning. The weapon expanded dramatically, its shadow stretching across the battlefield, as if attempting to swallow everything within reach, at once violently and mercilessly forever onward. Xiao Yan raised his hand, and 5 blazing clusters of heavenly flame appeared before him, rotating slowly like miniature suns. Each flame radiated unique color and temperament, yet all resonated harmoniously, responding to his will with perfect obedience, reflecting years of relentless cultivation and mastery achieved through hardship and sacrifice. Forming intricate seals, he unleashed the 5-ring flame eruption technique, causing the flames to transform into colossal spirit beasts that roared toward the heavens. Their combined power fused into a spiraling inferno, capable of tearing apart even saint-level defenses when driven by unwavering resolve alone in combat situations. Witnessing the terrifying manifestation, several surviving Soul Hall experts instinctively retreated, unwilling to remain near the impending collision. They understood that once such forces collided, the resulting shockwave would devastate everything nearby, leaving neither victor nor spectator untouched by the destructive aftermath certain to follow immediately after impact arrived soon. Refusing intimidation, the First Tianzun roared, channeling his full Dao Qi reserves into the sword until the sky itself darkened beneath its overwhelming aura. Countless spectral blades erupted outward, forming a descending storm aimed directly at Xiao Yan, determined to crush him before reinforcements could intervene decisively in battle today. At that critical instant, Xiao Yan stepped forward and thrust both palms outward, guiding the flame vortex into a blazing pillar that pierced the descending storm. Fire and bone collided violently, producing thunderous echoes that rolled across distant mountain ranges, startling creatures hiding miles away from the catastrophic battlefield entirely. Energy waves spread outward, shattering remaining structures while molten cracks split the ground beneath their feet. Yet neither combatant retreated. Both understood that this clash represented more than personal victory. It symbolized the opening declaration of total war between rising rebellion and ancient tyranny, locked in relentless struggle for dominance. Gradually, the flame vortex gained dominance, consuming the outer layers of the bone storm, forcing the First Tianzun to channel additional strength simply to maintain resistance. Sweat formed upon his brow as he realized that Xiao Yan was far stronger than initial estimates had suggested to Soul Hall strategists earlier. With a decisive shout, Xiao Yan compressed the vortex further, unleashing an explosive surge that blasted the bone sword aside, sending it spinning across the battlefield before embedding itself deeply into distant stone cliffs. The resulting shock silenced onlookers, who witnessed the astonishing display of overwhelming superiority in that moment. Seeing their leader forced back, the remaining Soul Hall defenders began losing formation, allowing Alliance warriors to advance steadily, reclaiming ground that had been contested moments earlier. Confidence returned to their ranks as they realized the feared branch might finally collapse under coordinated assault launched by Xiao Yan today indeed. And hovering above the battlefield, Xiao Yan prepared to continue pursuit, yet paused briefly, sensing a distant oppressive aura stirring beyond the horizon. The possibility that Hun Mishin might truly appear introduced a new uncertainty, reminding everyone that the struggle was far from finished despite current advantage gained through courage. The next episode would reveal whether this victory marked triumph or merely the beginning of catastrophe. Thank you very much for watching, homies. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you all in the next video, and until then, take care and goodbye.